In May 2022, I moved to Singapore with my husband from the UK, and I've had one of the best times of my life. But if I'm honest, something was missing, and it's taken me a while to figure it out. This is my story about why I left Singapore, but it's really a story about finding home. Every dream has a beginning, and our Singapore dream began in 2017 when we visited for the first time, exploring the classic tourist attractions. I think it's fair to say that I was in complete awe of this incredible city. And during one afternoon in Bugis, whilst devouring a simple fast food lunch, I felt something shift within me.
So happy.
I knew that one day we would move to Singapore. And that's exactly what happened. 5 years flew by like 5 beautiful seconds. Me and my husband found ourselves packing our bags and flying to Singapore. And in those first few days of arriving, we visited Bugis again, where we found the exact same stir-fry spot we'd eaten at 5 years ago, like no time had passed at all. It felt as though I had walked straight back into the moment I first dreamed of living in Singapore, as if the city had quietly held a place for me, waiting until I was ready to return. And I was utterly grateful. Living in Singapore was everything we thought it would be and so much more. Tropical bugs and all. In those first few months, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And the food in Singapore, wow. Whether you go to snack stalls, indulge in kopitiam culture, or explore the hawker centres, food is everywhere. We found ourselves eating to our heart's content. We devoured Singapore like it was the last piece of the best crepe cake we've ever had. So beautiful. And thank God for all the many food courts that served various delicious and affordable dishes that were always worth queuing to the ends of the earth for. And we were especially lucky to be able to be part of the diverse faiths and the celebrations.
We're currently in Paya Lebar right now. We're off to the Ramadan Bazaar and come to meet Amin's friend and colleague as well, but this is going to be really exciting.
Very milky and melony. Delicious.
How is your burger? Good, yeah? Yum!
I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put it in the bag. And shake it. Yeah.
I like it a lot. I'll give it 9 out of 10. It's delicious, yeah.
If you're a foreigner in Singapore, I can't recommend enough the Ramadan Markets. They're the perfect snapshot of how diverse and beautiful Singapore truly is, all wrapped up in a delicious setting. It's a place where Singaporeans from all walks of life come together to celebrate and to eat, and I can only imagine that it will get better in the generations to come. But why did I still feel so unsettled? On paper, Singapore was perfect, but something was missing. As a foreigner, life felt temporary. Everything hinges on an employment pass tied to a job. Permanent residency? Not guaranteed. We dreamed of buying a home, but high taxes made it unfeasible. So, like most expats, we rented. At first it was fine, but soon I was tired of knowing the place I called home wasn't really mine, tired of some noisy neighbours, unreasonable rent hikes for a beautiful shop house that masked leaks and mould. This is where I said the leak was before, but I was told it was the aircon, but it might be a different leak now. So you can see watermarks here. The ceiling paint is swelling, that wasn't there before. And this is our floor. There's water dripping everywhere. And then there's water dripping all the way down here. This is behind our bathroom door. And then tons of water down here. Most of all, I was tired of how fragile it all felt, how quickly things could change with a job loss, a policy shift, a landlord's whim. The life of a foreigner is precarious. That's when the idea of leaving started to form, not as an escape, not a failure, but as a step towards something that felt more mine. I'll always be grateful for my time in Singapore. Living in a city designed for contentment taught me the value of belonging, of having a home that's truly your own, something I never had before, and for the first time I was ready to find it.
I've missed you.
How does it feel?
It feels so good to have it.
Important question, how much was it?
Oh, it was nearly £4.
Oh my god, it's gone up?
But it's more expensive in Singapore, in some places.
Yeah.
So that's about $9, $9 Singaporean dollars.
Bloody hell, coffee's gone up.
Apparently this is small as well, but that's quite a lot for a small.
Yeah. It's a good thing over the pandemic we let go of our coffee sort of addiction.
Yeah. That's the only thing the pandemic was good for.
The mochas were good in Singapore.
They were, yeah, especially at Orange Mocha. We loved it there.
The Swee.
Oh, and Swee, yes.
Once we returned to the UK, we lived in the countryside for a while. It was a wonderful time where we enjoyed space, fresh air, but it was in London where we felt our best selves. And so we moved to the very city I had grown up in, the place I left for medical school a long time ago, and the location I had never felt could ever be home until now.
Mind the gap, please.
I'm loving walking down central London. We're actually on Regent Street right now, and the city is just one of the most amazing cities in the world because literally it attracts people from everywhere. Hearing like all the languages, seeing all the people. I love this city so much. It's a bit crowded. We're on our way to Edgware Road for some dinner. Just want to show how it's so busy. We're in Edgware Road now. We haven't been here for since pre-pandemic, so it's been a very, very long time. But we love Edgware Road. Has some of the best food.
The Arab food, yeah.
The Arab food, anyway. Yeah. Actually, today we've decided to have Turkish food.
Yeah.
So it's a Turkish place we've never been to before, but it's got really good reviews, and the food is supposed to be really, really good. So we'll take you along. We're here now. This is it, Diyarbakir Sofrasi, and I probably butchered the whole of that name. I think it's my favorite food. And I feel like whenever we go to Turkish restaurants, it's always they're so generous because all of this is complimentary. And look at all this. This is like a meal in itself. Turkish bread is literally the best in the world. I love this stuff. Thank you so much. Oh wow, that is incredible. Thank you. I love this. It's huge, right? I just went a little bit more traditional and got chicken sheesh with chips because I love chips. It spins as well a little bit. This is how I like to enjoy an eating out experience. I don't care if there's a wonky table, so long as there's good food and also good service. But obviously the food comes first. And it's kind of why we enjoy the sort of hawker lifestyle back in Singapore because it's just authentic. You might not always get the best service, although we did. It does have that reputation of not having the happiest uncles and aunties, but the food was always good. I think, you know, when you go to places where, you know, you got the wonky tables, you got the wonky chairs, the lighting isn't perfect, you know, it's not fancy. Those places are usually the best places for food.
I love London most in the springtime, even our dirty old Thames River that keeps flowing and rolling through the nights. People are so busy, they make me dizzy, and taxi lights shine so bright. I love it most when two worlds collide, when the people face the government, everyone taking sides. It's where thousands rise. This city, this country, is full of some of the most caring people I've ever met. To be with them, daring to dream of a better world, makes me proud to march beside them. I am not afraid. So long as I gaze at the London sunset, I am home. I wanted to talk a little bit more about why we left Singapore. Firstly, we really loved Singapore, and there's nothing we change about our time there generally. We had such a good time, honestly. We loved the weather, we loved the blend of old and new. And it was such a great place to try so much food and different types of food. So generally, we would not change anything about our experience. But the rental market was shocking. In hindsight, we realized we were in the middle of this sort of like this rental price explosion that was happening throughout the whole of Singapore and across all types of rental properties. So, for example, we would go and look at an apartment in one area, and then, you know, if we didn't want it and we didn't make an offer, but then kind of reconsidered it a week later, we found it was gone. But because we were interested in the apartments in that area, we noticed that other apartments there were basically exploding in price as the weeks went on as well. So there was clearly like a real skyrocketing of rental prices. And in some places they were as high as 60 to 70%, which is, you know, outrageous. And this was also happening in places like New York and London and other cities across the world as well. Just this boom in rental prices, which feels like it's just become normalized, when really the reality is those prices are not sustainable. By the way, we don't mind renting. We've been renting for a very long time in the UK, and it's worked out quite well for us. It affords us flexibility. It's given us the opportunity to chase opportunities, especially job opportunities. And we've had the chance to live in different cities across the UK, which has been really fun. But it's only when there's a balance and protection for tenants that it's worked out best for us. But unfortunately, we didn't really find that in Singapore. So we looked everywhere in Singapore for a place, not just the city and the central area. We looked in the East Coast, we looked in the heartlands. We ideally wanted to stay in a HDB as well, mainly because I could see online and especially on YouTube, these beautiful HDBs that had been renovated so amazingly. But the reality was that those sort of HDBs, the beautiful renovated ones, weren't really on the rental market. So that was a challenge, facing the reality of what's actually available to people who are renting out. And we also had some good estate agents to help us with our search. But after a good while, we just couldn't find what we were looking for. We couldn't find that place that felt like home. And the truth is, we couldn't find something that was worth the price, that was worth these inflated, skyrocketing prices. And the commitment to stay somewhere for a year or two was quite daunting. I mean, we had a good budget, a realistic budget, but for what we were getting in exchange for those rental prices, we didn't really feel that we were getting value for money, really. It started to feel like it was kind of ridiculous to pay so much per month on a space that wasn't really ours.
And the long search was also taking a toll on other aspects of our life. So we were trying to balance finding a place with trying to build our life in Singapore, trying to make friends, and getting on with our careers as well. And those aren't small things. Those are huge things that we felt were being affected while we were looking for a place. In essence, I think the move to Singapore was just bad timing. Singapore itself is an amazing place. You know, it wasn't really about Singapore. It was about the rental market in Singapore that just didn't make sense to us. And ultimately, we realized that we didn't really want to rent anymore, whether it was in Singapore or London or anywhere else for that matter. Moving to Singapore really made us realize how much we wanted our own place, our own home, and somewhere to put our roots. We really felt like if we can afford these super high rents in Singapore, then, you know, it's probably time now to buy a house. And buying a house for us, for me and my husband, is a pretty big deal because we're the kids of immigrant Bangladeshi parents who came to the UK with not much except for the clothes on their backs. We spent many years, decades even, building our lives for not just for our careers, but also for this concept that's home. We've grown up in social housing in the UK, and we don't have generational wealth and so many privileges that other people do. But, you know, we're not resentful of those things. We're really proud, in fact, of how far we've come, especially by ourselves. It's something that we think about a lot. We've really had to build our lives up from scratch. So moving back to London has really, really made sense for us, and to basically focus on the next stage of our lives, which is buying a house.
After viewing over 50 properties in a year while staying in one Airbnb after another, we almost gave up. Then, on the very day we were about to pause our search, we viewed one last house, one we didn't expect much from, until we knew it was the one.
We're off now to go get the keys, and I'm feeling a bit emotional, so I might cry a little bit later because this means so much to us, to have some stability now.
It's been a long journey.
It's been a long journey, yeah. Behind us is all our crap. Literally crap.
Some of our crap, the rest of it is in storage.
I will be documenting the full house hunting journey in another video, but for now, I can tell you this. For the first time in a long time, my shoulders drop walking to a front door that's ours. We turn the key, we smile. This is where we want our children to grow. God has a plan for us. For now though, this might not be perfect, but it is home.